welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors, a Hydra Knives Noctem rendition, if you will. Before we get started, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, statistics are showing that that number is going down, but anything above zero is unacceptable. Vets, we love you. You have a place here. We're back to blue over here. We support Leo. How you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law anymore. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. So here's the deal, guys. George Washington Sears was an adventurer. He was a traveler. He was a sports writer for Forest and Stream in the 1880s, I believe. He was one of the early conservationists. George was only 5'3" and 103 pounds, and he canoed the Adirondacks in a 10.5-pound custom canoe, which was unheard of the day. You see, George Washington Sears was the father of modern camping and bushcrafting, a conservationist. You know him better by his pen name, a pen name he took after his childhood friend, Nessmuk. Now, this is a Nessmuk style blade. It's made by Hydra Knives. I believe they're in Spain. I'm sure my fact checkers will go over that for me very, very quickly. Here's the deal. The reason I mentioned Nessmuk is this Nessmuk style, this old school style blade, was a multifunctional blade that was purpose built. The times at that point dictated this design. This is what we have, and we're going to do a couple things a little different. You see the initial sharpness there. I'm going to give you all the specs in just a minute after this first demonstration, or the second one, whichever. Here we're doing the Donnie B All-day drop test, the Donnie B All-day throw it at the stump test, checking the balance, checking the tip, checking the edge, checking my ensemble that I'm wearing today, looking good, Scab. All of that. Here's the deal, guys. There's a hump on the back of that knife. One of the reasons Nessmuk loved this style blade was you could take that little hump. They ate a lot of food out of tins and things like that, and you could scrape the side and get everything out, whether it's jam, preserves, or whatever. I'm going to do that in 1 second on on some peanut butter, just as a little example. Here we go. I meant I put it in the wrong place. But, you know, what else would you expect from old Scab? All that lead up to me shaving a stick. Here's the deal, guys. These designs were purpose driven, okay? It wasn't like it is today where you got a bunch of guys that do YouTube reviews and then design knives and you got all kind of nice, cool stuff. And now we live in an age of convenience. Back then it was a little harder, a little rougher life, so necessity dictated blade style, and that's what you have here. And you see right here, it spreads peanut butter like a sumbitch. It's a good knife. I love it. But let me give you some specs. It's D2 steel, or Bowler K110. The Rockwell is 58 to 60. The blade length is 5.5 inches. The cutting edge is 5.32 inches. The blade thickness is 0.21 inches. Blade width is 0.173, so a nice wide blade. Has a full flat grind. The overall length is 10.25 inches. Handle length is 4.73. It is G10. Very comfortable handle. Now, here's the deal. The coating is oxide copper powder coating. Sorry about that. Now, in Latin, noctem means light, so I find that interesting. Again, Nessmuk style. Here's the deal, guys. I don't talk about knife designs and all that a whole lot. I really don't, because I really don't care. The deal is simply this. This channel takes on function. That's what we try to deal with. That's what we try to specialize in. Does the knife work? I do demonstrations. I don't do reviews, because essentially I might carry a knife for a week and then do a test. Hell, I might take it out of the box and do a demonstration then. That's why I call it a demonstration. One of the great joys of doing videos the way I do them is quite simply, I pick up a knife and I see if it works. Now, it's challenging. It really, really is. So I've kind of come up with a set of demonstrations, and for just terminology, we'll call them tests, that I feel like demonstrate my daily use of a knife and a lot of other people's, okay? with these style blades, and if you'll note, this blade has kind of a sweeping edge there. Great for slicing. This is a very slicey knife. It comes pretty sharp. I don't know if it's straight out of the box. The setup, here's the deal. I like Spanish knives. I really do. One of the big things with Spanish knives, it seems to me, is presentation. They send a really nice box. There's a lot of cool things about that. And again, that's great. But we're going after function here now. The Nessmuk style blade, I was saying this earlier and I get distracted. That's not hard for old Scabber to do. The Nessmuk style blade is a blade that I'm very intrigued by. Highly functional, and that's why. If the channel's dedicated to seeing if the knife works or not, and when I say that, I'm talking about working in a novice's hands. We're working on our knife skills. We're getting there, not there. But if I can use a knife and it works well, then some of you guys who do have a better set of knife skills, it will work exceptionally well for you, and that's kind of the point. The Nessmuk, to me, is a style that an idiot could use. And you're seeing one demonstrate one now. But it's made to work, whether it's the hump on the back. And listen, that's not why the hump's there, I don't think. But that is just a benefit of it. There's a lot of benefits to this blade. It's got that long blade. Now, they called it a recurve. This is not a recurve in my opinion. To me, it's got a sweeping curve, okay? So you can sharpen it up razor sharp and make those long slicing curves. You can also, it's not a bad chopper. Not a bad chopper at all. We'll do some here in a little bit. But what I want to show with these videos, ease of use, cutting multiple materials, and here's the truth, guys. I could cut one thing and you'd go, damn, that knife's sharp. I understand that. But I try to cut enough different stuff. I know that everybody don't cut the same stuff or don't use the same stuff in our daily walk. But hopefully some of this stuff you do every day. You do every day, I hope, keep regular and all that. But back to the point. The point is, I want to try to show you, and hopefully you see something and go, yep, I do that. That resonates with me. That's a knife for me. Or no, it's not. That's just a little bit behind the knife. Now, I don't do a lot of research on the company. I don't do a lot of research on any of it before I demonstrate the knife, especially with modern day designers, for the simple fact I want to demonstrate the knife, then I go back and do the research, okay? Now, I am a history freak. I love history. Love it. So I did a little bit of looking up Nessmuk and all that over these past few months, so I already knew some of that. But the thing is this, I like to give you my opinion right off the rip. Now right here, it's got a little notch in the back for striking a ferrocenium rod. It does work well. You got to find your groove with it. But sometimes, guys, that's everybody. Okay? I could have edited this and showed you just strikes. Sometimes with a knife, you got to find your groove. Now, that's one thing that I enjoy about these demonstrations. This knife is from my brother from another mother, Kurt. Love Kurt. So appreciative to him. Not just for letting me review certain knives. Kurt likes a different style than I do. So it gives me an opportunity to check out some designs I probably wouldn't have. At first, Nessmuk style blade I ever really picked up was one of Kurt's. So, I'm appreciative to you for that. And I fell in love with it. In fact, if I was ever going to have a custom knife made, I would get a Nessmuk style blade. I know everybody thinks I'd get a Bowie or some massive chopper, and certainly those appeal to me. But I think if I was going to do just a custom knife to EDC, camping, especially with all the camping and stuff we're going to have coming up, kayaking, it would be a Nessmuk style. I really, really do. It's just multifunctional. It's easy to use, has a swath of purposes, and I love it. Now, we struck the surface there. I'm not trying to break it. Wasn't trying to go deep enough to break it. What I was going to do is put a line in it and do these just little stop cuts all the way around. If I wanted to make a tent post, I could. If I wanted to make a toggle, I could. Got some really, really good depth in there. The other side is this, in making toggles and tent posts and all things like that, these shavings obviously can be used for tinder and getting your fire started. So it's a multi-purpose exercise to do. I'm still working on my Morse Katinsky video with the tri-stick. I've slammed more tri-sticks into that fence you see behind you than I care to mention. I ought to do a damn blooper reel. But that's why they call it a tri-stick. A T-R-Y stick. You try. This is a wooden dowel. I found that wooden dowels for Florida are a lot easier. Now look at that. Look at that. We simply feather stick all the way around, going a little bit deeper each time. Again, multi-purpose. I could use this for a tent. Hell, what am I thinking? Tent stake, for the love of God, Scab. I could use it for a tent stake, a punji stick for the neighborhood kids, a plethora of things, plus use the shavings to start a fire. Now right here, obviously, I did speed this up. We're going ahead and making our new Bam Bam stick. Now, I didn't realize it took me about 4 or 5 minutes to do this entire segment, so I did speed it up a little bit. But we do this to show you just a little bit of hard use on that knife. And let me say this, a couple things. One is no edge damage whatsoever. It's got a little higher Rockwell hardness, not super high, 58 to 60. It's on that higher end, I would say. It's D2, so we didn't get any chipping, we didn't get any rolling. I'm going to do my paper cutting test at the end. That's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to check by doing a lot of batoning in this video, how does that coating hold up? If you've watched this channel for very long, I hate coated blades. All right, somebody always, yeah, I love them. I don't care. I'm not you. You're not me. Never the twain shall meet. It is, again, it's a personal preference. With my background being in powder coating and sandblasting and having done it for years and years, I am very, very particular when it comes to coating and dropping my damn stick about 15 times. I'm very adept at dropping a stick. I'm the world's worst batoner. You can go ahead and spare me. Well, go ahead and you can light me up in the comments because this was awful. Really, Nessmuk was probably having a stroke. But here's the deal. This coating held up insanely well. Now, this is hackberry, hackenbush, hack something shit. It's the bane of my existence. I promise you that. You can't burn it. You can't build with it. You can, but it's not good to do. It holds moisture. It's super hard, super dense, but it's excellent for testing knives. Okay, and I wanted to leave all of this in. I wanted to leave everything I did in. That way, when we go to our paper cutting test, you can see. So what I do is I do all of these little tests, all these little demonstrations, walk in and cut paper. The other reason I leave this stuff in, guys, is I'm constantly and forever saying I'm a novice at best. Okay? So I want to show some of the stuff where I do fail, where I do get frustrated, where I do get aggravated. Because not only am I trying to demonstrate a knife for you or show you a knife so you can make a decision on it, I'm also bringing you on my learning journey, okay? And I'm at about pre-K level when it comes to learning with a knife, but hopefully we're getting better. Guys, look, we got less than a minute, and I just want to tell you thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everybody who subscribes. Let's do our shout-outs real quick. A new guy, Knife Delights. Awesome guy, awesome channel. I'll put a link in the description for him. And then there's Knife Delights, remember that. And then there's Donnie B All-day, Joe, Steel Forged and Fire, Sword and Knife. My two guys, Eric, Husyan, and Karl Ruedger, just awesome guys. There will be links in the description. Go check them out. And then Blade Talk with Scab and Joe, my other channel. I'm putting a link there to our Veterans Raffle rules. Mikey says it best. Everything's going to be okay. I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son. Love y'all.